The following video has been approved by the JD marketing team. The video has been rated JD. The following video may not be suitable for all viewers. Good morning and g'day, mate. Welcome back to Dyson Sphere with me, JD. Now, first off, let me invite you to 3 hours worth of gameplay with me, JD, which is 6 hours in real life, because as you can see up in the top left hand corner, doesn't matter what I do, the game is running slower and slower. It fits perfectly with this planet, which is called Go Big or Go Home, because yes, there's a lot of production going on, and even though I've started turning things off, hoping to find a little bit more game speed, it's hasn't come to a lot of luck so far. So first thing I want to do before we jump into what has happened, what is going to happen, and everything else for this this particular episode, I do need to thank the Patreon members and go through and rename a couple of stars. So we have Turonium. Yep, I think I ruined that successfully. We have Hoyd, good old Hoyd, who also gets himself a star. We have the wonderful, the honourable, the Mr. BTG. All these are lovely Patreon members that allow me to spend 6 hours of my life on a single episode. Yes, along with Lucas. So, 4 more stars named after 4 more wonderful patrons. If you'd like to support the channel, if you'd like to get early access to videos, by all means, link down in the description, link up in the top right hand corner. You can support the channel. You can link your Discord to your Patreon account. Jump in our special supporters only lounge. Get early access to videos. And enjoy the tragedy that is my life and the many hours going into putting together episodes like this. And because it does come up often, people ask. Yes, patrons actually get can ask for any save they want, including this save of this particular game, which funnily enough, in the last 3 episodes has gone from like a measly like 500 megabytes up to like 750 megabytes. Anyway, the plan for this episode. Let's just turn on that again, and I know people start screaming and crying as soon as they see my taskbar. Just don't look at it. Don't look at it. Everything's fine. Okay, so last episode, we got the frame material done. So that still leaves a couple of items we'd really like to get done. It leaves the titanium crystals, which is actually really easy. It's 3 titanium, 1 crystal, 4 belts in, 1 belt out, 320 assemblers. It's nothing. Just quick pop that out. Cashmere crystals are not done either yet, I don't think. No. So I'd really like to get the cashmere crystals done as well. The biggest problem we're going to have with a cashmere crystal is let's not do 120 items per second. Let's do 30 items per second with the hydrogen turned on, which, as you can see, is 24 belts of hydrogen. Really? 6? No, I want 6 factories. 2.4? 2? 2.2? Can we change that to that and just change that to 6? Okay, that's what I want. Every 6 factories is almost 1 belt of hydrogen. If we go up to 7 factories, it's 1.1 belts worth of hydrogen. We can't actually support 6 factories, so it means every 6 factories needs a belt of hydrogen, which leads to, let's open that back up again in a new tab, the 48 belts worth of hydrogen we need. Forget this is it, just trying to find a source for the hydrogen. We don't care, we know we have hydrogen. It's just going to come from all the gas giants we went and colonized when we were setting up deuterium. But yes, that's a tiny bit of hydrogen. It also means that I need to make 320 assemblers, all of them only being 6 belts long. After 6 belts, I need a new belt for hydrogen. So That's another one I'd really like to get done, mainly because if we're going to do titanium crystal on this planet, and then we already have the graphene on this planet, hydrogen's going to come into planetary no matter what. But if I can get this squeezed in, it means that we're going to convert 4 belts and 48 belts or something. 48 belts. So 4 belts, 48 belts, and 8 belts into just 4 belts. Okay, just 4 belts. Yeah. Actually, titanium would be 20 belts. 20 belts. 24 belts. Yeah. It just the further up the production chain we can make it, it's less ships that I have to then fly around all over the place. This is one of the reasons why we did frame material on this planet, because rather than me having to ship around 24 belts worth of carbon nanotubes, if we made them on this planet, finished them off on this planet, it meant we only had to have 6 belts worth of material flying around rather than 24 belts. So, yes, I'd really like to get titanium crystal done. If we get titanium crystal squeezed in on the planet, I'd really like to get the Cashmere crystals done and tidy them up as well. On top of that, the Dyson Sphere components, we've already made the frame material, we already have the processors, so rather having 6 belts of this and 10 belts of this, if I can get this one, oh, actually, I think it's 6 belts and 6 belts, yeah. And sales are going to come in from Come Sail With Me, so yeah, if we can get this one done on planet as well, that would be awesome. But we're sort of short on space. So our planet is very full, as you can see, and I really have just this little bit of space at the bottom. Technically, I have some space at the top as well. But I have a feeling we're going to have to put in at least another 2 rings of stars to keep everything powered, because as you can see, there are lots of little drones going all over the place, but then half the planet is not running. So there's definitely going to be some more things we want to do. But what I want to start working on is I want to start working on the titanium crystals, because this should be actually a really easy production line. It is 3 belts of titanium, 1 belt of crystals into 1 assembler, and then if we come back to our little spreadsheet, calculator, and we type in 30 items per second, it means I can make 80 assemblers long before I then have to restart the process. So, yeah, the plan is to work out exactly how many 80 assemblers will be. If I just press that button, we've got 1 so far. That's 39. That's halfway there. Yeah, it's gonna spread like maybe halfway around the planet. Maybe just short. So, and I just need to do this 4 times. Also, technically, as these are coming from offsite and these are coming from offsite, and it's 3 belts, 1 belt, my own rules specify that I can really only pull 4 belts out of an interstellar logistics station if it's coming from off-planet. Which technically means after I build this 80 assemblers long, I then have to put down a new tower to start the next build. But the other problem I have is towers have to be a certain distance away from one another. I can cheat. And what's a good example? For good example, for just ease of showing, is I can make a second tower and run, come on, and run 3 belts of titanium out of this one into this one, and then bring it out and run it into the next build. Which means I'm still technically using 2 towers, but it's all coming and sourced from 1 tower. Although, hang on, I then need 3 out for titanium, plus 1 out for crystals, plus 1 input. Yeah, I don't have that many. Maybe with drones, because I do have a certain amount of empty space, like up here where I can put some towers, definitely up at the North Pole. I could put down extra towers and use drones to move things around, but then again, that's more power. So, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to build this, but I do know I need to work out how to place 320 assemblers at half game speed, because Yeah, go big or go home. So, after much building, we have 320 assemblers. Yeah, it took a moment, but they're all here, and yes, I did have to do one tower for one build. Actually, no, I cheated. I used 2 towers for one build, so we're going to have to set these for local demand and remote demand. I'm not going to set up remote demand just yet, and then put in booster towers to then bring in more materials. But yes, this did take up, like, you know, all the way around the bottom of the planet. Yeah. Okay, so that means we're on to Cashmere crystals. Cashmere crystals, can I have please one of them? Thank you. We're just going to, well, I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to be building these, because these are going to be annoying. Cashmere crystals. If we hover over this, we can see it requires a titanium crystal. That's easy. We just made those. Also, it's going to require some graphene. And then it's going to require some hydrogen. Okay? Nice, simple, easy construction. Alright, what we want to do is we want to have... let's just start with... let's make things simple. Let's just do a return belt here. Outie belt for angle 2 wide. Please stop that. An outie belt for titanium crystals. Okay. Yeah, none of my clicks line up currently. It's very much a click, wait half a second, and then move the mouse. Alright. And then we'd have a belt for graphene. Alright. Then we put down assembler. We set you to crystals. Oh, by the way, for anybody who asks about the alternate recipe, the alternate recipe just means I don't need to do titanium crystals. Yeah. But then I have a new problem of rather than needing 1 titanium crystal, I now need 6 of the other things, which are just annoying. Like the I can't remember what the alternate is called. Optical grading crystal. Most useless rare there is. It's used for either photo combiners rather than using basically glass, which is basically stone, which is just an almost infinite resource, or you can swap out titanium and organic crystals, which is like, yeah, it is a lot of production you're going to save, but then you have a situation where you just can't run belts efficiently. You know, if it did, if it removed half the hydrogen, let's say, maybe a different story. Actually, probably. You went from 12 hydrogen down to 3 hydrogen, and probably 3 of the optical grading crystals. So you can actually have a different production line. Maybe. But what we're going to do is we're then going to go input for one material, input for the other material, output for the other material. Okay. And then around the back, we're going to grab another belt. We're going to bring out hydrogen. And we're going to take the belt like that one. I think that one. And then we have an input. Nope. There we go. And I can build 5 more. After I build 5 more, I need to cut this build. I need to grab another belt of hydrogen. Hydrogen. Yes. Let's go over to the input belt. Output belt. Output belt. Output belt that we can't supply. Yep. Actually, you've got to go over a tile because Simon says. Okay, and then 6. And then I have to cut this belt again and come back to the start and bring out another belt of hydrogen. And hydrogen is the only thing coming off planet. So technically, oh, press, wait half a second, there we go. Technically, I can do 4 belts out. Technically. I don't know if I will, but technically I can do 4 belts out. So this sort of becomes our build. I don't have to worry about, let's remove that. I don't have to worry, oh, it's the wrong recipe anyway. I actually don't have to worry about, even though we need 2 graphene, I don't have to worry about maxing that out, because I think it's like 40 assembly machines long is the point we'd max out a belt of graphene, and honestly, really not an issue, because we're never going to get a build that's 40 assemblers long. But this is going to be my build, and because I have, well, after I copy, oh, house is broken again. Razer, you make great hardware and shit software. Although I'm pretty sure you could say the exact same about every hardware manufacturer. Okay. So because I have blueprints, I can copy that and then just like look for places where I can place this. The reason I'm doing it this way is I noticed in my wandering around the planet, I have gaps like this, where if I rotate this, okay, apart from too close to other towers, oh no, I can put one, yeah, so, you know, I can put one too close, there, rotate you twice, not have enough things in my inventory, hang on. Grab half a dozen of those and just a touch of those with a smidge of those. Grab my blueprinting tool again and F2 for the paste. Yeah, rotate that twice and collide with another object. What are you colliding with? Absolutely. Oh, it's a tower, so it's deeper at the back. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I could place another build like there. And that's going to be the plan for this one. You know, look at all these odd spots in the base where I have gaps between builds. Too close to other logistics tower. Yeah, that's going to happen a lot. But there should be a number of spots. Like I noticed there's another gap up here, which again, if I start the build in that orientation... One there. No, you won't fit there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wander around at the planet and place all these. In saying that, we need to have 320 assemblers total. And I have 6, 12, 24. 24 if I run 4 belts rather than 3 belts. And if my blueprint works, which is going to require tweaking each time. So, with that said, I'm going to attempt, very much attempt to go find somewhere to put down 320 assemblers. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, that was surprisingly annoying and easy all at the same time. I managed to fit in the, however many needed, 540, 320... However many it was, that we'll go look in a sec, but they're all in and they're all actually up and running. Yes, that one included. Yeah, no, they're... And we don't have power issues yet. Oh, okay. We haven't gone over 5 gigawatts again yet. So, yeah, they all went in. Surprisingly, there was enough blank space, like, in the map. Like, as you can see, there's a couple in here. There was where we left it. I did put one in here. And then I actually put in a booster hydrogen belt. And then worked out that the graphene wasn't long enough. So, there was another build right here, which is not... Oh, still waiting for the hydrogen to show up. Yeah, the hydrogen's a little bit far away. I don't know how successful we're going to be in keeping hydrogen fully running, but that's okay, because it turns out just slotting them into random areas, I sort of overbuilt a little bit. I know I needed 54 lots of 6, and I think I've got 60 something. Either way. Yeah, I ended up pulling the graphene off this one to backfeed it into this build, because this one just ended up having a booster line of hydrogen because it was convenient. But yeah, they're all done. There's these little pink crystals throughout the base randomly, and I'm just trying to make sure that they are all definitely turned on. Yes. I know that's an entirely different build. And surprisingly, if you remember our titanium crystals, which were our bottommost build, we didn't actually take up any extra space. I'd actually probably like that move down a tile, but it's technically one tile into the... Whatever. We didn't actually use up any more space, like, vertically? That'd be horizontal. That'd be vertical. Yes. I didn't use any extra vertical space on the planet. I did have some interesting builds like this one, which wrapped around on itself, but that's all besides the point. Didn't use up any more vertical space. So, I'm actually confident. I'm confident that maybe we can get everything to fit. In saying that, if we go back and look at our calculator, we can now turn off that one because it's done. The Cashmere crystals I can now turn off as well. And they go into the plane filters, which we just placed. Okay, so we just placed 320 assemblers and another 320 assemblers, and we haven't used up that much space. So, if I get rid of that, that, and that, cool. 240, 960, 400, 320, 120. They're the numbers left, okay? Which means I'm going to do the titanium glass, which is 8 belts of glass, 8 belts of titanium, 8 belts of water into 8 belts worth of titanium glass. So, and the reason I'm doing that one is in the hopes that I can squeeze in the plane filters as well. We're only talking about 1,300 assemblers. That's it. It's nothing. 1,300 assemblers in that amount of space. Maybe some at the top. So, we're going to go and do titanium glass. Yes. Titanium glass is going to be probably the easiest. It's not going to be easy, actually. It's going to need a belt of input. Actually, let's just bring it up in here. Go away. Titanium glass. 2 in, 2 in, 2 in, 2 out. The catch is that's 2, 4, 6 belts with a 7th belt out, which means I can't build them like that. So I have to do 1 belt of titanium, 1 belt of glass, 1 belt of water, and then drop in an assembly machine. Come on, assembly machine. You're gonna make titanium glass. Yes. Get out of my way, tower. We're trying to look here. With an input, an input, an input. And then... Come on. Find somewhere to drop the mouse. Oh, that's going to be the output there. 1, 2, 3. And yes, I'm going to definitely end up building over fault lines and around fault lines as we keep going down the planet. There's not really a lot I can do about it. You're going to have an output far on one side. Come on. If I put that there, we can then rotate it twice. Put one there. That means a tower goes in like this. Your item number 1. On tower, your item number 2. Your item number 3. Item 1. Item 2. Item 3. Okay, and then, and where are we? Titanium. Glass. Water. And titanium glass return. And that's pretty much the whole build. And we need 8 belts worth. We need to have 30 items per second. Okay, so I need to have... No, I just realized you're actually going to need 2 belts. Okay, so you can do it. Yeah, just deleting belts now causes the game to go, hang on, let me think about this. that goes. Okay. This is why we double check the calendar, the calculator. Okay. Alright. Power is going to be a separate issue. We can either squeeze power poles in the middle. Yeah, we can. Okay. So you get a belt of titanium, a belt of glass, and a belt of water, and then you output a belt of titanium glass. And we need how many belts worth? We need 8 belts worth. And the build I've got does 2 belts worth, so I need to have 4 of these builds. In saying that, and something I should note, you're going to have 2 belts out, 2 belts out, 2 belts out, which is 6 belts total, which technically violates the Jedi rule of 4 belts out, but we will see. I already know that I'm going to have to put in a couple of towers, like, well, there's your prime example there. This one was only doing carbon nanotubes and carbon nanotubes locally. So interplanetary, it's not actually doing anything. It's just moving around carbon nanotubes. So what I could do and what I have done is these ones that are doing carbon nanotubes and a couple of others around the planet that are just doing local things. I'm actually having them bring in titanium and having a local supply with local drones to move it from here to here to make sure that this guy has the throughput it needs. So, titanium sort of doesn't count as an off-site delivery, sort of. But yes, I need to build this 50 assemblers long, which, well, I can guarantee you is going to be. Actually, rather than doing that, let's just. Rather than trying to get the belts around the planet for you guys, you don't care about the belts, you just care about how long the assembly is. So I just need to have 48 assembly machines. Do I have 48 in my inventory? Yes. Hang on. No, to the point where it wraps around. Yeah, it's like a third of the planet. And we needed how many? This belt build does 2 belts worth, which means I need 4 of these builds. One, 2. Yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Look, I'll work out the technicalities, and I'll see you guys in a bit when we have titanium glass running, and then we only need another 900 assemblers or something after we've done titanium glass to do the plane filters. Yeah. I'll see you guys in a bit. So, you remember how everything's easy when you say it out loud until you've actually got to go do it? Well, titanium glass is much the same. Each build, if you remember, was 2 belts worth, and I needed 8 belts total, so I need to have 4 of these builds, and each build is 50 assemblers long. And as you can see, you know, this is where we left it, at the end of the first build, which starts all the way over there. And then at the end of the first build, you just blueprint the whole thing and pop down a second build. And, you know, I haven't set up the actual running of it yet, but you get the picture. And it comes out to, hang on. It comes out to here and leaves you this odd gap. And you look at your odd gap and you're like, can I put another build in here? Turns out the answer is no. The next build would be too long. So you go like, okay, fine. We'll just go in one section. Okay, in one section. We'll just slide it in towards the pole, just one more section. And then you got to leave a gap for, I think the next build. The next build happens to be 1 tile further out. Yes. Well, the next build is 1 tile further out because I said to you to come back to haunt me. That guy is off by a tile. I said I'd go fix it. And instead, I turned it on, and I didn't fix it. And that 1 tile meant that second build had to move out 1 tile. So then, yeah, just yes, okay? All right. Because that was out by 1 tile, I lost 1 tile around the whole circumference of the planet. Anyway, titanium glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the sunny side of the planet, we have this little bit of odd space left over, which would be, you know, perfect for more Cashmere crystals, except they're all done. So, back to our little list of things that we need to make. We can now turn that one off. No, that's plane filters. I can turn that one off. Yes. Okay, so that leaves me a couple of options. The couple of options are quantum chips, which require plane filters, which require 960 assemblers. Considering how much room I just used for 400 assemblers, I don't know if I can fit 960. So instead, we're going to sidestep and we're going to go do the Dyson Sphere components. Because, as I said, I have the frame material on site. We have the solar cells going to be shipped in from... Come sail away with me. Okay, so they're going to be shipped in from there no matter what. So that just leaves the processors, which are this weird build here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 10 belts worth. I can't remember. Lots. Actually, let's go look. We can zoom in far enough. Yes, it's 10 belts worth. 10 belts of processors. So it's just a case of, you know, plug them in and make a build. So once again, we're going to be doing Dyson Sphere components, which if we put a belt there and a belt there and a belt there, 1, 2, 3, and a return belt, and I just saw that didn't click on the first attempt, and then we'll put a tower. I need to make sure towers definitely do not go over fault lines, so we'll put you just there, a little bit offset, but that's fine. We'll have you be item, well, you're meant to be item number 1. 2. Item number 3. Okay, so they are those things, and those things equal those things. Okay. You be return and a production. Yeah. Notice we're down to 24 UPS. The game is running at 1/3 normal speed. I have a feeling very, very soon I'm going to make a trip to our star killer planet and turn off all the cannons just because I can. Okay. You are going to be doing those things. Okay. So these guys require 3, 3, and 3. So they have a very, very high input for just one output, which means we go back to here again and we open you in a new tab and we set you to 30 items per second. I need 3 belts, 3 belts, 3 belts. So we're not going to do 30 items per second. We're going to do 10 items per second, which is the nice even round number of 53.4 assemblers. Yep. Which means, and this is probably the only bit of good news I have, is I can then do 1, 2, 3. I didn't set the filter, but that doesn't matter. I can do that afterwards, and you guys don't have to sit through the ultimate speed that is this game running on my PC at, oh my god, Jetty, how much did you overbuild? What did you do to it? And before somebody suggests mods are the culprit, I have been, and I do check from time to time if turning off all the mods makes any difference, and the answer is no. The only difference it makes now is now that we're using the planetary miners mod, mining operations break, which then, you know, fixes all the UPS problems because the whole intergalactic base slowly comes to a stop. Anyway, we're gonna have U2, so it means I can do 54. let's just... don't know if I have enough sorters. Let's go just grab a handful of sorters. Cool. 54. Technically, the last one doesn't run at full speed. Collides with object. Well, we don't want you to collide with... Oh, well, that's the wraparound point of the planet anyway. Yep, okay. So that's 40. That's 40 because there's the original one. And then we want another 14. Which is there. Please tell me it's not halfway around the planet. It's not halfway around the planet! Yay! So half the planet's going to get me 54 and 54 is 108. 108 assemblers of the 320 I need. So 108, 216, and then I'm going to have another ring whether I like it or not. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I will see you guys in a sec after I place down a crap ton more assemblers. After I rip up this set, because this set has no sorters and has no belt and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so after I rip all this up and then build it all a second time, and then we'll have Dyson Sphere components done. Alright, see you guys in a sec. And we're back. We're back to actually where I shot the start of the episode, because, yeah, this episode was a little bit longer than most. And as you can see, we ran out of space. Well, we didn't run out of space. I managed to get all 540 whatever thousand assemblers down, or whatever. What was the number I needed? I needed 320. I managed to get 320 assemblers down. But that was it. That was it. We are officially run out of room. In fact, the last build has, well, let's just talk about this to start with. We have our first build, which we sort of half built together. And then I decided to move the tower back a couple of tiles just to give myself a little bit more room. And it's as close to this tower as it possibly can be. So I wrapped the belts around, and then I decided for the next one, you know what? We're going to keep that up. We're going to put the tower... Well, actually, I think this was the next one. Yeah, this was the next one. I decided, again, I'm going to put the tower back to give myself a little bit more room. I'm really glad I did, because the next two builds end up with offset towers as well. And then the last build, well, I had no choice but to put a tower in the middle. And it has 54 going in this direction, and coming around here. And there is no way I could fit the last 20 or so I needed. So, same tower wrapped the opposite direction. Because technically, the sails, and yes, I have turned this one on just to test it and find out if home was going to need them to try and speed up our actual rocket production capabilities. Turns out, to make small carrier rockets faster, the thing that I need back at home or here or anywhere are quantum chips. You know, the one thing we're not making because we haven't set it up yet is quantum chips, because they required the plane filters. The plane filters, I'm really glad we decided not to do here, because they needed 960 assemblers, and I was really hard pressed to fit in 320, because it turns out the closer you get to the poles, the less space there is to build. Anyway, so yeah, this one has the last couple shooting out this way, because technically it's only outputting 2 belts of sails, which are the ones that come from interplanetary. But with all that said, we need to turn on today's production. So find somewhere nice to land, and okay, they've been turned on already because they were all over the place. So it is U, which is water, which is demand, and local demand, remote demand, and you'll make titanium glass, remote, local, remote, yes. Go around the planet till we get to the... No, I've done that one. Okay, let's go around the planet this way. So we can do local, remote, 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 and everything I've set to warp as quickly as possible, as often as possible, and maximum power draw, and everything else. Okay, so you're a local demand, remote demand from come sail away with me. You're a local demand, remote demand. You're a local, remote, local, remote, and that just leaves you local, and remote. And I think, holy crap, shipola. I think everything is running. That's crystals, that's crystals. That's glass, that's glass. I think, wow, that's a lot of ships all coming in at once. I think that's a lot of ships coming from everywhere. That's a lot of titanium. I have no idea why we're bringing in titanium. I'm guessing it's for one of the sub-components to make this component. Yeah. There's a lot of ships. Some of them, I'm hoping they return ships back to Forged in Fire, because Forged in Fire will send ships the slow boat way. It won't, because of the distance, it won't use a warper, which we may have to change just to have throughput. Whereas come sail away with me, it's set to use warpers at all times. It's just Forged in Fire that will slow boat a ship. Please teleport. Please. Come on. And maybe something on Starkiller. Or maybe that's coming from Forged in Fire. That's entirely possible. But, yes, with that done, and a lot of ships flying over the planet. A lot of ships. Power hasn't yet exploded. But it is going up. And up. And up. Yes. Because we've turned on frame materials. Frame materials up here require... they require the high purity silicon and the titanium alloy and also the nanotubes. Nanotubes are going to have turned on these guys, which are going to require the spindle form, which is definitely coming from off planet. Very, very, very off planet. So that's going to get those guys importing. On top of that, what else have we turned on? We've turned on processors. Yes, we've turned on processors, which will fire up... where is it? This section of the planet, which is going to bring in silicon, copper, silicon and copper at this end, which is firing up more ships. Yep. And also at the other end of the processor build is going to fire up iron and copper, which we're not out of, which is a good sign so far. They're raw materials. They're raw materials. That section's running because that's nanotubes. Cashmere crystals are not running. What is that? No, that's the nanotube production. So what's this one? This one's the graphene, which goes into the cashmere crystals, which are not running. The deuterium fuel rods are not running, so that means the top third of the planet also is not running yet. And we're hovering at... Not everything's running yet. Okay. So this planet is, as far as I can tell with our limited space not left, Which means we have to... You're now done, so we can turn you off. So it means I need to do 960 assemblers doing plane filters, exporting the Cashmere crystals and the titanium glass from this planet to whatever planet that happens to be, and then do quantum chips, and then finally do the small carrier rockets. Unless I can find some magical way to fit 960 assemblers. No. 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 They're definitely going to happen on another planet. I don't know what planet. Our choices are... Your home is just fired up like, yep. Our choices are not the Starkiller. Our choices are tightly locked rockets, because at the moment over on tightly locked rockets, on the rear half of the planet, we're launching rockets. On the front half of the planet, we're absorbing critical photons, which are going to be moved to... Middle Earth, right there. They're actually going to be moved to, if I can get some height, please. Please. Here. They're actually going to be moved to Middle Earth, because the whole plan of Middle Earth... And Starkiller's fired back up. I thought I turned you off. The whole plan of Middle Earth was for it to absorb critical photons. But it is a good chance for me to remind you guys, click the like button, because this episode took hours and hours, and that's Middle Earth right there. Which is a really cool planet I like flying to, because when I get here, the altitude goes up. I'm actually flying backward. The planet, I'm not catching up with the planet. It's a really weird planet to fly to. But as you can see, it's built between two spheres. So this planet I can actually wrap entirely in ray receivers and receive power everywhere on the planet at all times. So that's actually the plan for Middle Earth, which does mean, yeah, I've got to press M to zoom in to then zoom out. It does mean our tightly locked rocket planet, which does have ray receivers on the front of it because it's tightly locked, I could technically build across the flat front of the planet. So, next episode, we're going to attempt to put down 960, 240, 3... What's that? 360... 360 plus 960, what's that? 1420 assemblers. 1420 assemblers to get our last... No, that one's done. Okay, so what's that? No, that's 240,000, 1200, 1320. 1320 assemblers. 1320 assemblers. I'm planet. Technically, oh no, there we go. I'm getting closer. Yeah, so 1320 assemblers. Plan is to put them down and land. Thank you. 1320 assemblers. Put them down either on this planet or more likely on our Tyler Lock rockets. The same time, we do have Come Sail Away With Me, which we've only covered like half the planet. So there's room to move. There's room to move to find out where we can put our last assemblers and then start launching rockets as fast as we possibly can. We are launching rockets. We are launching rockets as fast as we can currently, but as fast as we can currently is not terribly fast. Yeah, and I've turned off firing off sails. Well, I thought I'd turned off firing off sails, except it's firing again. Purely hoping to find that we'd find just a little bit more UPS. Although, in saying that, I'm up to 35. 35? We're going faster than half game speed currently. Yeah. Alright, with all that said, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to thank you guys for watching. As always, I do hope you've enjoyed this weird episode on this weird playthrough, because never did I think a game designed around going to multiple planets I would manage to kill the game and my processor on my very first playthrough. And funnily enough, we're only 120 hours in. I did 200 hours in technically what was my first playthrough on Twitch. And I guess because I didn't have mods and I was doing everything manually, I hadn't got to this stage yet. And nothing was wrong. Everything was great. We were still running at full speed. In fact, the only thing I managed to do was kill my video card. Now, my video card's running fine, even though it says 18 FPS, because I'm actually limited by the UPS number, the 36 number, up the top left-hand corner, because, yeah, my CPU can't keep up. And you'll notice that the FPS is generally half what the UPS is, because it looks like every second update of the game, it pumps out a frame. So yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here, and I'm definitely going to check that, yep, 100% generation, because you guys are stuck between two Dyson Spheres. You will never, ever, ever run out of any power, ever. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Dyson Sphere, where hopefully we finish our last project, episode 31. Should be a good one. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Bye.